Hey guys! So we're going to go ahead and start our tricky topics for chapter 24. So the things that we're going to cover within chapter 24 for the videos are going to be meristic versus threshold characteristics, polygenic inheritance, and then response to selection using those variability equations. Those go together pretty well and you'll use them both for the same types of problems. So that's why we're covering them together. This video is going to be the meristic and threshold characteristics. Remember to watch those other videos for help on those other topics. So let's go ahead and get started on meristic and threshold. So both of these are types of quantitative traits. And what a quantitative trait is one that's continuous. So quantitative is all about numbers. So it's just they're continuous numbers or just any sort of continuous type of trait. So a really good example that I like to think about is height. We know that there's not like a dominant height and a recessive height, which is those would be qualitative traits if you're talking about two options, dominant versus recessive. Quantitative traits, you have a lot of range in between. So people aren't 6 feet tall or 3 feet tall. We know that there's that huge range in between where they can be a lot of different heights. And that makes it a quantitative trait. It's continuous. It can vary a lot more than just dominant recessive. And there's two special types of quantitative traits that you guys need to know. The first one is meristic, and the second one is threshold. For meristic, it is whole numbers only. So like with height, we know we can be like 5.5 feet and stuff like that. That does not apply with meristic. Meristic is whole numbers only, so like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. So the reason that it's still a quantitative or a continuous trait is because there's not just like a dominant and a recessive option, like 3 or 1. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you still have that range. It's just that the range can only be whole numbers. And the best example of this is going to be litter size, because we know we can't have 3.5 puppies. You have 3 puppies or you have 4 puppies, but there's not a dominant or a recessive number of puppies that you can have. It can still be on that continuum. It can still range from a number of different things. It's just that they have to be whole numbers. The second type of quantitative trait that you have to know is a threshold characteristic. And in this one, it's always talking about in regards to some sort of condition or disease or disorder. And you either have it or you don't. And we're going to talk a little bit more about this one because students usually get a little bit more confused here than the meristic. So at first glance, if you were to say, okay, I have it or I don't, that's two options. That's like dominant recessive. It should be qualitative. And we have seen some examples of those, like with X-linked recessive traits, such as colorblindness or hemophilia, that kind of stuff. We've done it with X-linked recessive, where if you have the dominant trait, for example, X big A, you are not colorblind. And if you have X little a, you are. And that's a disorder that was just classified by that X big A, X little a. And it was super simple. But there's some disorders that don't follow that trend, and those are going to be your threshold ones. So we're talking about you have it or you don't, but within the people that have it and within the people that don't, there's a continuum. So one of the examples that I like to use to explain this is blood pressure. You have high blood pressure or you don't. There's two options. You have it or you don't. But within everyone that has high blood pressure, there's a lot of options. You could be on the side where you're like, you have high blood pressure, but like, you could probably change your lifestyle and move down into the normal range pretty quick. And then you have the people that have really, really high blood pressure, and it's like, yeah, good luck. You're kind of stuck up there. And then you have everyone in between. And then of the normal people, you have people that are kind of close to that line of like, they don't have high blood pressure, but like they might in 2 weeks. And they're really, really close to that line, but you would still say they don't have it. And then you have the people that are further away and they aren't really even at risk for it. So within the people that don't have it, there's also that range. So that range in both of them, that's the reason why threshold is going to be a quantitative characteristic and it's continuous. Even though we classify it as you have it or you don't, there's a range in both. So another example would be like cholesterol levels, blood glucose levels. You have diabetes or you don't. But within the people that have diabetes, you can have that range. Within the people that don't, you can also have that range. All right, so that is meristic and threshold. The next thing we're going to go into in the next video will be polygenic inheritance.
I hope you found this video really helpful. The concepts and information presented in these videos will be true no matter what genetics class you are taking. However, the concepts presented in this video are referencing material currently covered in Baylor University's coursework. Remember, if you are currently enrolled as a Baylor student, we offer free tutoring services. Our tutoring center is located on the first floor of the Sid Richardson building. You will find all the details you need to know about these services on our website, www.baylor.edu/tutoring. You may schedule a free 30-minute one-on-one tutoring session online through Navigate, or just drop in during our open business hours. For more information about our current services, please visit our website. Thank you.